Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Notice of this meeting stating the date, place, and time has been disseminated as required under the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975. Copies of the agenda are also posted on the city's website and Linden TV for the public. This meeting is now called to order. Mr. Clerk, can you please conduct the prayer and flag salute?
God of the universe, look thou with favor upon these here assembled, and bestow thy guidance upon the members of the governing body in their deliberations. This we ask in thy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In the event of an emergency, the proper method of exiting the council chambers is through the 3 doors in the rear of the room. Occupants should proceed down the staircase, out the front door, and move away from the area of the front steps. Any member of the public wishing to speak during the public comment session at the end of the meeting, please sign in on the white sheets provided in the front of the room with your name and address. Please turn off all cell phones or place them on vibrate. If you must take a call, please leave the council chambers to do so. Mr. Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Ormond.
Here.
Javik.
Present.
Caldwell.
Present.
Mohammed.
Present.
Rivas.
Present.
Roman.
Here.
Strano.
Here.
Blaine.
Here.
Medina.
Here.
Hudak.
Here.
Mrs. Yemakaitis.
Here. Okay, could we have approval of the minutes of the regular meetings of May 16th, 2023?
Council President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of May 16th and ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond.
Yes.
Javik.
Yes.
Caldwell.
No.
Yes.
Mohammed.
Yes.
Rivas.
Yes.
Roman.
Yes.
Strano.
Yes.
Blaine. Medina.
Yes.
Ms. Hudak.
Abstain.
Mrs. Yemakaitis.
Yes. Okay, we'll now have a presentation from Mayor Armstead with proclamations for the Linden High School Seal of Literacy recipients of 2023. Mayor Armstead, please take the floor.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I'm a little house cleaning here. We have with us this evening our interim superintendent, Dr. Rocco Tomasic. If you will, Dr. Tomasic, if you can stand so I just announced you. Okay. Dr. Tomasic joined us a few months back. We needed an interim superintendent. I tend to call him a fixer. When you have a problem, you need a guy to come straighten things out. He's our go-to guy. So he came in and helped set us on a different track and a different course, and we're very thankful for all he's done for us. I wanted to have a proclamation for you tonight. I know somehow things got a little wacky, but I'm going to take you out to dinner instead. That's better. Okay, so anyway, I just want to thank you for all you've done for our school district.
Mayor.
Oh, we do have a proclamation. Do we have a proclamation?
Yeah, now that you're off for dinner. That's from your office.
I take that back. We do have a proclamation. See, the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. But so we do have a proclamation for Dr. Tomasic. So maybe we'll do the proclamation for Dr. Tomasic first. Again, he's a fixer. I think it was Thomas Paine that said, "These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier, the sunshine patriot will in this time of crisis shrink from the service of their countrymen. But he that stands it now deserves the love and thanks of all his countrymen." And Dr. Tomasic has certainly not been a sunshine soldier. When we called on him, when we needed him, he came through like a champ, like the true champ that he is. We had a lot of things that we had to straighten out, and he certainly helped us straighten them out, and we're very thankful and appreciative. He's going to be leaving us in a couple days, but I'm going to say he did a great job for us, and we're ever thankful for you coming and helping us to kind of steer our ship in the right direction. So, but I want everyone to know that we won't hesitate to put him on retainer and pay him as a consultant if we need him, because he's done that great of a job for us, and we appreciate his expertise and his ability to get the job done. So with all that being said, that's a proclamation in and of itself, isn't it? So real quick, it reads, whereas Dr. Rocco G. Tomasic grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, and graduated from John Marshall High School in 1970. He went on to graduate from Bowling Green State University in 1974 with a BA in Speech and History. He then completed 5 more degrees in the areas of Theater, International Affairs, National Security and Strategic Studies, Educational Administration, and Social Studies between 1979 and 2004 from many notable and prominent universities. And whereas Dr. Rocco G. Tomasic is highly spoken of by his family, friends, colleagues, and students, they describe him as a multi-skilled, communicative, ambitious, committed, and genuine father, friend, mentor, and leader, leaving his imprint and impact on those who were surrounded by him every day. And whereas before Dr. Rocco G. Tomasic served as the Linden Public School Superintendent in 2009, he applied his military background diligently to the NJROTC program in Linden High School. After becoming vice principal in 2000, it became evidently clear that his dedication to shaping the minds of future youth was unmatched. Using his educational prowess, he moved up the ranks from assistant superintendent in 2002 and soon became the superintendent. His work in the Linden Public School System is memorialized as truly a testament to what devotion and passion for your work results in. And now, therefore, it be proclaimed that I, Derek Armstead, Mayor of the City of Linden, in the state of New Jersey, on this 20th day of June, 2023, do hereby proclaim that Dr. Rocco G. Tomasic lived a successful life full of accomplishments, dedication, perseverance, and service to others. He leaves behind a legacy that will change and inspire generations, a legacy that Linden is honored and proud to be a part of. It is with great joy and gratification when we look back on Dr. Rocco G. Tomasic's fruit from his labor. Thank you is a simple but meaningful phrase that people in our profession just don't hear often enough. Rocco, we thank you for all you've done for our district, especially our students, and it's signed by me, Derek Armstead, the Mayor of Linden. Can somebody get me a pen?
Thank you.
The boss just told me I might as well do the 2 teachers also. I'm not going to argue with her. I got to go home tonight. Well, we have a proclamation which says for David Walker. And it reads, whereas David Walker was born and raised in Linden and attended school number 1046 Soule Middle School and Linden High School. And whereas David Walker started working as an employee of the district in 2007 as a substitute teacher and then becoming a social studies teacher at Linden High School. And whereas David Walker was appointed as chair of the Department of Social Studies and then as vice principal in 2018. He was appointed to the principal of school number 10, and whereas David Walker, since his days in the classroom at Linden High School, he believed that technology could not only level the playing field for many students, but also greatly prepare them for their future careers. And whereas David Walker, as the principal of school number 10, felt technology integration was a top concern as students currently in pre-K classes will be graduating high school in 2035, a world that will most certainly look very different than the one we currently know. And whereas David Walker holds a moral obligation to prepare our children in Linden for future, and whereas David Walker has a desire to become an Apple Distinguished Educator ever since the Linden District's partnership with Apple, starting with the one-to-one initiative 10 years ago, and is looking forward to gaining even more knowledge in the area of educational technology, making further connections and forming partnerships. And whereas David Walker's intentions is doing everything he can to provide the staff and students at school number 10 with the resources and technology needed to ensure we continue to progress boldly forward as a school community. And now therefore it be resolved that I, Mayor Derek Armstead, hereby recognize David Walker on his accomplishments of being accepted into the Apple Distinguished Educator Program, making him only one of 4 New Jersey educators who will be attending the class of 2023, and for making our school district and city proud. And again, it's signed by me, Derek Armstead, the mayor. And this one was signed by me. Okay. Our next proclamation is for Kim Cathalis, and it reads as follows. Whereas Kim Cathalis was born and raised in Linden and went through the Linden school system, and whereas Kim Cathalis was hired in 1996 as a third-grade teacher for the Linden School District at school number 10. While at school 10, she understood the importance of instructional technology and how it can be used to make learning more meaningful. And whereas Kim Cathalis in 2013, after the Linden School District decided to embark on a one-to-one technology initiative using Apple technology, was excited to be chosen as a representative for the Technology Vanguard team. And whereas Kim Cathalis was eager to begin her journey as a technology ambassador for our school district in the 2013-2014 school year. And whereas Kim Cathalis in October 2013 was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer, and her opportunity of becoming a technology ambassador for that school year was shattered. And whereas Kim Cathalis, with the support of her family, pushed forward, determined to come back stronger than ever, which she did. And whereas Kim Cathalis in 2018 transitioned to an elementary technology teacher and was now able to incorporate technology concepts into the curriculum and enhance the students' computer science experience. And now therefore it be resolved that I, Mayor Derek Armstead, hereby recognize Kim Marie Cathalis on her accomplishments of being accepted into the Apple Distinguished Educator Program, making her only one of 4 New Jersey educators who will be attending the class of 2023, and for making our school district and city proud. Kim? And we are proud. And she's a fighter. She's tough as nails. Don't mess with her.
Thank you so much. Oh, sorry. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
What up, Mr. Armstead? First, you can say what it says. You want the mic now, didn't you?
Good evening, everyone. Before I begin, I would like to ask 2 amazing educators to come up with me, to join me, Tanya McGillis and Anna Skiva. And also, we have Ms. Hu. She's taking pictures for the newspapers. I would like to take this time to introduce myself. My name is Danny Orlean. I am the new ESL bilingual world language supervisor in the Linden School District. And it's a job that I am honored to do. Before I begin, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the parents You know, we are here to celebrate your children because of all the hard work that you have done to support their education. And I want to take this time and ask everyone to give them a hand of applause. The reason why we are here, and too often, when you listen to the news, you read on Facebook, social media, you often hear people criticize our children. But as an educator in the Linden School District for over 23 years, I often tell people, we have a lot of rock star, shining star in our Linden School District. And too often, they are overlooked. You know, you don't hear about their accomplishments. And as the new supervisor of the World Language Department, you know, I am going to make it my mission to honor our children whenever I have the opportunity, because they deserve it. They work hard and they deserve the recognition. So while we're here today, I'm going to read you, we're here because these students have done something amazing. We are here to honor them because of their hard work. They have received the seal of biliteracy by the State Department of Education. And I'm going to tell you what the seal of biliteracy is. The seal of biliteracy is an award given to students who have studied and attained proficiency in 2 or more languages by high school graduation. Let's give them a hand of applause. This recognition is given to students who pass a rigorous, when I say rigorous, I mean rigorous, exam in the target language. Spanish, Italian, French, Haitian, Creole, Polish, you name it. You know, they are here and they have done it. Our vision as a district is to help students recognize the value of their academic success and to see the tangible benefits of being bilingual. You know, you will not be successful if you don't speak a second language in the future years to come. So these students have worked hard, and because of all their hard work, they have mastered proficiency in 2 or more and some, more than 1 languages. And I am so proud of them. So when I contacted Mayor Armstead, I said, Mayor Armstead, we are going to celebrate them. They have worked hard and they deserve the recognition. This is the first time that we are doing this, but I promise all of you, every year before graduation, we will be celebrating them because we are proud of them. I want to read about all of your accomplishments on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, instead of the nonsense that we hear all the time. We as a community, we are so proud of you. You know, I couldn't wait to come here to celebrate your accomplishments. And at this time, I want all of you to pat yourselves on the back and say, I am good, I am proud, I have done a good job. So go ahead, pat yourself on the back right now. I am good, I have done a great job. And I am the future of Linden, New Jersey. So I'm going to hand the mic to Mayor Armstead, who will be calling their names. And as you hear your name, please come up. You will be able to take a picture with Mayor Armstead. And also at the end, we will all go outside and take a group picture. As the new ESL bilingual supervisor, you guys are a rock star, and I love all of you, and I am so proud of you. Keep up the good work.
Two languages can be very beneficial. Did my wife tell you how we met? She was walking down the street, and I spoke a little bit of French to her, and she's been with me ever since. True story. You know, I knew a couple of words, just, you know, bonjour, comment allez-vous? But it was enough. No, language is powerful. It really is. You're to be commended on learning, being proficient in 2 or more languages. That's very difficult. I've been with it for 28 years, and my Creole is terrible, but I can speak a little bit, you know. So anyway, I'm going to read all, we have a proclamation for you guys. I'm going to read all the names. It's like a lot of names here, okay?
But not all of them are
Okay.
here.
So Kira Adolfi, Karen Agudelo. Why don't you read the names and let me take the pictures?
Oh, okay, perfect. He's giving me the hard task of reading the name. Okay, Karen Agudelo. Okay, Carolyn Almeida.
Almeida.
Isabella Almeida. Jean Alvarado. Catherine Orden Gonzalez. Krisha Bazil. Evelyn Brunel Castillo. Amy Bernard. Okay. Sarah Bozinski. Shirley Quintero Yepes. Wilmika Senelian. Julian Cruz. Carolina Chomsko. Congratulations. Christopher Delgado. Dianara Douglas. Maria Echeverri Serrano. Congratulations. And her parents wants to take a picture. Mohammed El Hori. Congratulations. We're so proud of you. Yusuf El Harari. Florian Elmaro. Haggard Awashaha. You know, Haggard used to be my ESL student at school number 9, and now she's graduating at number 1 valedictorian of Linden High School. And she was accepted to Princeton University. So as you can see, we have a lot of rock star in our Linden Public Schools.
She's also an intern in my office. She works in my office.
Sarah Emily. Aaron Estrella, Maddie. Iliani Francisco Disla. Veronica Gasco. Jerry Galoza. Clarita Gallardo. Congratulations. Dylan Garcia. I have known Dylan since he was in kindergarten, and now look at him. I'm so proud of you. Isabella Gonzalez, and our salutatorian, she's graduating as number 2. So proud of you. Victor Gonzalez Jimenez. Congratulations, Victor. Good job. Claudia Gogolski. I've known Claudia for a long time as well, and now all grown up. Kevin Gushney. Curly Hernandez. Carolis Infante Olivos. Marie Jean-Pierre. Tiffany Jerez. Julie Galanti. Julie. Your name in front, Julie. Congratulations. Amadeus Gomajda, Elmore Matthew Leonard, Claudia Lakumska. I've known Claudia since she was in kindergarten as well. Scarlett Luna Sanchez. Simon Malik, I've known him since he was in kindergarten as well. He's not here tonight. Jen Mento. And Mary Mento. Janice Martinez. Anahi Martinez Montaleza. Marlon Neha Acevedo. Valerie Trejos. Lauren Menzel. Talia Moise. Julia Molina. Sophia Molina. Stephanie Navarro Martinez. Evelyn Ojeda. Chris Ordonez. Sarah Ospina. Maria Osario Arias. Tommy Paez Londono. Haley from, Haley is also the recipient of the Ariel Rivas Scholarship from school number 4. Congratulations. She often comes to my house. Natalie Paredes. Basma Paul. Mateus Pereira. Fabiana Ramirez. Marisol Ramos Rodriguez. and she wants to be a future educator, so I'm trying to recruit them. So I'm encouraging all of them to go into education. So, and I told her to come back and work. I will hire her in my department. I'm so proud. Alejandro Sena. Daisha Santana Jimenez. Jennifer Tavares. Gadidi Tyree. Clara Toussaint. Philorette Valsin. Janice Seldon Martinez. Ladies and gentlemen, we have over 71 students receiving the seal of biliteracy from the State Department of Education, a major accomplishment. And let's give them a hand of applause, everybody. A round of applause. I want all of you to come back, go into education, and apply to work in your town to make a difference. Thank you, everyone. Now we're going to go outside, and we're going to take a group picture with the mayor.
On behalf of the council, we'd like to congratulate all the students, and teachers, and the parents for
Good job, Dylan.
Okay, if the council members could take their seats, we'll continue with our council meeting.
Hit the button.
Okay, we're going to do the ordinances on hearing. Okay, on our agenda, we have ordinance 6713, which was tabled at the April meeting and is going to remain on the table. We're going to move on to ordinance 6732, please.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Traffic, of an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance Adopting and Enacting the Revised General Ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999, passed November 23, 1999, and approved November 24, 1999, and is amended and supplemented. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, that Chapter 7, Traffic, Section 7-10, parking prohibited at all times on certain streets shall be in the same is hereby amended as follows. 7-10, parking prohibited at all times on certain streets. Name of street, delete Tremblay Road west from Main Street to Wood Avenue. Add Traveling Point Road west from Main Street to Southwood Avenue, except on Tuesdays from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance?
Council President, could I speak on the ordinance, or I might not have a member of the public?
First, okay, yes. Yes.
No, 67.
6732. All right,
32. Yeah.
okay. All
Council
right, can we
President?
have a motion and we'll go to
Okay.
discussion?
Council President, I'd like to make a motion to close the hearings on 67-32 and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Okay, discussion?
Yeah, real quick, I just want the public to know that this is an ordinance that will provide parking for people that live on Trimley Point Road, which is nothing much more than a cart path, so that they will have a place to park on those days when there's no parking on that side of the street that they live on. They'll now have a place to park on the opposite side of the street, which they haven't had probably since the first ordinance was adopted.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, can we have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Roman? Yes. Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Yes. Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6733, please.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Traffic of an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance Adopting and Enacting the Revised General Ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999, passed November 23, 1999, and approved November 24, 1999, and as amended and supplemented. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, that Chapter 7, Traffic, shall be and the same is hereby amended as follows. Chapter 7, Traffic, 7-33, Handicap Parking Regulations, 7-33.1A, Handicap Parking on Street. Name of street, add 1006 West Henry Street, 1 spot. Add 404 Helen Street, 1 spot.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to make a motion to close the hearing and to adopt ordinance 6733 and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Abstain.
Caldwell?
Abstain.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Roman? Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, ordinance 6734 failed on introduction. It's just there as a number placeholder. So we'll move it on to ordinance 6735, please.
An ordinance amending Chapter 31.4.1 entitled District Regulations by the City Council of the City of Linden.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Council President, I'd like to make a motion to close the hearing on 6735, adopt it, and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Roman? Yes. Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6736, please.
An ordinance amending Chapter 31 entitled Zoning by the City Council of the City of Linden.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Okay, please come up and state your name for the record and address.
I was just wondering what the zoning changes were, because I was worried about my neighborhood.
Okay. Mr. Antonelli?
Turn your mic on.
Did
Okay,
you?
yeah, essentially what this zoning ordinance is attempting to do is address an issue that we're having here in town, which is oversized houses on oversized lots. So if you have a 100 by 100 lot, the side yard setback would be 5 yards and 5 yards. It just allows for a very large house on an oversized lot. So the changes that are being proposed essentially put some requirements on to limit the size of the structure when you have an oversized lot, and that's really what the substance of this ordinance is attempting to do.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. You're good? Okay.
Council. There, no, I got a comment on that. Yeah.
All right. Please state your name and address for the record.
John Kaiser, 23 West Munsell Avenue. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good to see everybody. It's a long time since everybody was here together. It's awesome. So the zoning, so I was at the council caucus meeting, and I heard you guys talking about the zoning. So there's stuff going on in one section of town, and now we're trying to thwart some of that in that section. And it hurts me to hear that, because in my section and in the 6th Ward, we're trying to tweak the zoning laws. I just want you guys to be understanding of this, and trying to change the zoning laws in one part of town to fit some stuff that don't fit. But you want to keep the character of another section of town. So just want to be clear with that. Thanks.
Okay, is there anyone else on the public who wishes to be heard? Okay, see none, can we have a motion, please?
I'd like to make a motion on 6736 and ask for a second.
Second.
Okay, discussion, please? Who wants to-
Yes. The change in the zoning law, I'm from Linden. There's been bigger houses built in Linden over the years, and the way our ordinances are set up, way before any of us served on this council, decades ago, if you bought a house next door to your existing house, you could collapse the deed into one house and one property, and thus the setbacks would be the same as if you had your 50 by 100 lot. So it would allow for instant creation of a bigger home without going to the zoning board. These, obviously it's become more prevalent, and the city of Linden wants to, keep the character of the city. So, thank you.
All right. Yes, Mayor?
It's painfully obvious that some of the homes that are being built in certain areas of town are just out of place. You don't mind having a giant house, like some of the houses that are being built, if you have acreage. But to cram these humongous houses on a 100 by 100 lot right next to a person who has a 40 by 100 lot and just dwarf them, it just doesn't make sense. And I think the zoning officers and the council, in an effort to try to curtail some of this overbuilding, has done the right thing here with regards to making a change to the zoning and the ordinance. We worked very hard with Mark Rattacco and our planner, Paul Rickey, to come up with something that we thought was fair. So you can still build a big house. You're just not going to build something that looks out of place. So you buy it 100 by 100 lot. Yes, you can still build a nice sized house. You're just not going to build it with a 5-yard setback, 5-foot setback on one side, a 5-foot setback on the other side, and a 25-foot front yard setback and a 25-foot rear setback. We put some sort of progressive restrictions there that will allow for something that will conform to the community. Thank you.
Okay. All right, can we have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6737, please.
An ordinance amending the city code of the City of Linden, Chapter 18, recreational cannabis establishments.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Okay. Please come forward.
Pat Hero, West Elizabeth Avenue. I do have a question. First of all, I did go on the website to try to find out this a little bit more about the ordinances that were going to be brought up tonight, but I couldn't find anything. And then I remembered, oh, I'll go and look and see if it's posted. But I looked, and I couldn't find it posted at the, near the city clerk's office. And it had already been closed for the evening when I got here. So I'm wondering, and I'll address this in a moment, but how can I find these ordinances before I come up to speak so I can know a little bit more about them?
After every council meeting, I send the ordinances on introduction to the webmaster to post on the city website.
Okay, well, I'll try to look again, and if I need any help, I'll call. Now, my question is on this. What is the recreational cannabis establishments? Is that where they're going to be located? Is it how many are going to be allowed in the city? Can you tell me a bit more about this?
Mr. Antonelli?
Thank you, Council President. No, this doesn't touch upon zoning. This cleans up, if you will, the ordinance that was previously adopted by council. So it increases the application fee, creates a process by which applications for a cannabis license are to be reviewed and to vetted before they're voted upon. So this doesn't touch upon zoning. It only touches upon essentially the application process.
Well, what's a recreational cannabis establishment? I guess we should do that first, because I wasn't here for that ordinance. Is it like a bar where you go in except it's marijuana? I mean, I don't really know what it is. If you could explain it, I'd appreciate it.
Well, I'm going to say about a year ago, perhaps a little bit longer, the legislature and the governor signed into law legalizing recreational cannabis. At that time, municipalities such as the city of Linden and other towns were given the option to opt out of all the various licenses that were allowed under the new legislation. Here in the city of Linden, I believe we adopted an ordinance opting out of making any licenses for recreational cannabis to be conducted here in the city of Linden. We then hired outside counsel to advise us on the various license classes of license, for example, a retail store, cultivation, manufacturing. So there's several classes of licenses. At that time, the city council went forward with an ordinance allowing essentially manufacturing and cultivation licenses to be granted here in the city of Linden. They have not allowed a retail license to be conducted here in the city of Linden. So at that time, after the ordinance was adopted, we did field some inquiries from some potential vendors, and it became apparent that perhaps our ordinance needed some fine-tuning, if you will, and that's essentially what this is doing. All this is doing is cleaning up the application process. It does increase the application fee, and that's all it does at this time, and nothing more.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anyone else from the public wish to speak on this?
John Kaiser, 23 West Munsell Avenue. You touched on most of the stuff from Ms. Hero, Mr. Antonelli, but just for the public to know, you guys also spoke about possible locations for these. I believe that you mentioned along Elizabeth Avenue or what is that, Pennsylvania Avenue behind that runs along the train line, and also in the 7th Ward, I believe, and some of the what's the word I'm looking for? Issues you guys had. You were worried about the smell coming from these facilities. Am I correct that that's where you're looking, or you're possibly having these establishments? Along Elizabeth Ave and 7th Ward, you said?
Mr. Kazar, that was a discussion that was had at council, and council chose not to do those locations and stay with the current zoning requirements.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, can we have a motion, please?
Council President, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the ordinance, accept it, and ask for second, please.
Any discussion?
Yes, Council President, if you don't mind.
Yes.
To Mr. Kazar's point, sometimes it's not too wise to try to sound like you know more about what you're talking about than what the actual facts are. So what the original intent was to open it up to a wider portion of the city so that it couldn't only be located in the 7th Ward, because the way the current ordinance is written, it's the only place in the city that actually complies. All right? Now, I'm against any, I was in favor of opting out completely. This is costing the city of Linden money already. We've already spent somewhere in the neighborhood about $40,000, $50,000 on attorneys, and we haven't seen a nickel yet, a penny. It's going to cost us more down the road. And my argument was, you know, I don't see why we couldn't, if the council is going to go along with this, let's spread the wealth. And there's plenty of industrial areas along Elizabeth Avenue and maybe out in the 2nd Ward. But lo and behold, nobody else wanted it in their ward. So majority ruled, and it became stuck in the 7th Ward. But I guarantee you, I'll bet one of my paychecks on council that you'll never see an operation growing marijuana in Linden, because the cost is in the millions of dollars, because what the state had done was created a micro facility to go along with the big facilities, and the startup costs are phenomenal. So I just decided that at this point in time, let the chips fall where they may. I'll be really surprised to see if anything like this comes to the city of Linden.
Okay. Councilman Roman, did you? Okay. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Absolutely not.
Rivas?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
No.
Blaine? Yes. Medina?
No.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6738, please.
An ordinance amending the designation of Lionheart Development LLC as redeveloper for the City of Linden property located at 94th South Park Avenue, Linden, New Jersey, Block 496, Lot 3, to Park Avenue Homes LLC, authorizing the execution of a redevelopment and sale agreement between Park Avenue Homes LLC and the City of Linden regarding the property pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law, NJSA 40A:12A-1 at sequence.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Okay, please come up and state your name.
Pat Hero, as some of you on the council are aware, some of you haven't known me at all, actually. I'm not crazy about redevelopment, particularly because it often takes away, not always, but often takes away property from one person to give to another. And I'm wondering, what's happening with this? An ordinance amending the designation of Lionheart Development as redeveloper to Park Avenue Homes. Did one developer pull out and you're replacing him with another, which is often the case in these redevelopment projects?
Okay, Mr. Antonelli?
Thank you, Council President. What this does is there was an original developer that owned 100% of the LLC. If this ordinance is approved this evening, it will allow for another owner to come in that has a minority ownership of 49%, I believe. The original developer is still the majority owner of the LLC. And so that's what this is doing, in addition to authorizing the execution of the amendment to that agreement, as well as the sale agreement between Park Avenue Homes and the City of Linden, for which the city, if this passes, We're anticipating a closing within the next 30 days, and the city will realize $700,000 from the sale of property.
All right. What was 940 South Park Avenue? Was it a city-owned property, or was it a privately owned property? City-owned?
Yeah, this is city-owned property. Actually, the city acquired this property through a tax lien foreclosure.
Okay, thank
It was
you.
the original Park Plastics.
All right. Actually, there's now a new Supreme Court case, which hopefully will impact those very soon, I hope. Thank you.
All right, is there anyone else from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Yes, Council President, I'd like to make a motion to close the hearing and to adopt ordinance 6738 and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Okay, discussion?
Thank you,
Councilman
Council President. Ms. Hero, this 940 South Park Avenue, this council started voting on this like before I was even council back in 2017. Park Plastics was around for, Michelle, you would know better than me, decades and decades, and there was some contamination, and they basically just left it. Sooner or later, the city acquired the property because it was abandoned through tax lien and foreclosure. And I think we paid to knock the factory down to make it a little bit more safer, as it was in poor, unsafe condition. And then, obviously, for the last 6-7 years, the city has been looking for a redeveloper. I have been opposed to this project in the past. However, the project that I saw includes townhouses on this property, and to my understanding, not only are they giving us a chunk of money to purchase the property, they're going to be responsible for a boatload of remediation at the site before they can start to build what they're doing. So I believe it's townhouses. I wish there was more property over there to make it a little better, because I think there are some issues with driveways on Park Avenue. However, this site is basically unsafe as it sits. It's environmentally contaminated, and I'm going to vote for this because I want to see city property that's just sitting there on our books get back on the books and get cleaned up. I don't want my kids running around that grass property, and this developer is going to clean it up and rebuild. Thank you.
All right, can we have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, consent agenda items. All items listed with asterisks are considered to be routine by the city council and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member so requests. We have items number 1 through 4. Okay, can we have actually items number 1 to 7?
Yes, Council President, I'd like to move items 1 through 7 on the consent agenda and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, now we'll move on to reports from the governing body. All right, we'll start with Councilwoman Ormond, first
Thank you,
ward.
Council President. I'm going to be pretty brief. I have my budget review and finance report. I'm asking approval for the following finance actions. The payment of bills totaling $4,057,602.95. Bills have been signed by the mayor, council president, and finance chairwoman, and a detailed check register and vouchers are on file in the clerk's office. We are in receipt of the investments made by the city treasurer for the month of May at the rate of 3.1%. I move for approval and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Okay, while I don't have an itemized Division of Transportation and Property report for the month of May, I do have a grand total. May reconciliation of account bank statements for railroad merchant parking meters totals $55,220.44. What I will do next month is make sure that if anybody wants that individual item, line item information, I'll be more than glad to give it to you. I'm going to be brief for the first ward because, we really don't have a lot going on. But I want to make the residents aware that we do have ordinances or we have rules and regulations pertaining to construction. So if you see somebody that is doing construction and you know they don't have a permit, you can feel free to call me. I will respond to your call and I'll make sure that I report it to the proper person. The summer is here in full swing. And there are a lot of kids that are out riding bicycles, riding scooters and everything. So I'm just asking for you to be very mindful of the children that are playing. I mean, children are beautiful, but they're not always very careful, so it's up to us adults who are in vehicles, whether we're pulling out of our driveways, whether we're driving down the street, just to keep an extra eye out for the little ones because they pop out almost anywhere. I also wanted to mention that our yard sale for the month of April was kind of like, for the month of May, it was kind of washed out. It rained all day Saturday, and the ground was extremely soggy the following morning. And by the time it dried up and the sun came out, it was near noon, making it virtually impossible for anyone to set up their tables. So what I am going to do is request that we have another yard sale a little bit later on in the season, after the summer heat hits us, maybe early in the fall. And I will be coming to your doors just to leave you a flyer to let you know where we stand with that. I also want to talk a little bit about just treating your neighbors with respect and a little dignity. It is the summer, and while I encourage everyone to enjoy their backyard, because Lord knows I do, we want you to be mindful of your neighbors and make sure that when you are enjoying your backyard and having a great time, remember that 10 o'clock means quiet time. Neighbors don't always want to hear your card playing, your loud music past 10 o'clock. Some people do like to sleep. And then on the second note, please don't nitpick because someone decides that they want to use their backyard. They have every right to. Last but not least, let's be mindful of the children. I've had people complain that while neighbors are barbecuing, their children's balls accidentally come in their backyard. I would rather a ball come in my backyard than a ball roll in the street and possibly hit a child. So I think we just need to be well aware that a child kicking their ball and it accidentally rolling in your backyard is not the biggest crime in the world. The crime is making a big deal of it, knowing that that child could go easily in the street and get hurt. So be mindful of your neighbors. We have all got to get along in this world. And just remember that neighbor that you're angry with over something so silly might be the neighbor that catches somebody breaking into your car or damaging your property. And you want to be on a good relationship where you can at least talk to that neighbor and count on that neighbor to have your back and report it for you in your absence. Council President, that's all I have for my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman Ormond. Okay, Councilman Javik?
Yes, Council President. As chairman of the Fire Committee, the Fire Prevention Bureau collected the following monies during the month of May 2023, a total of $13,153.94. Regarding the Linden Fire Department ambulance billing, the amount of $154,810.27 for May have been added to the total deposits for 2023, totaling $444,893.07. Linden has always been about safety in our community, and with the mix of manufacturing, chemicals, and petroleum products in our area, the Linden Fire Department has participated in three toxic catastrophic prevention act drills in the month of May. On Tuesday, May 2nd, the fire department participated in a tabletop drill with Buckeye Pipeline located at 1001 Lower Road. The drill consisted of a spill of transmix, which is a combination of gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel. Buckeye and the Linden Fire Department made all proper notifications, including Union County Hazmat. Buckeye, the fire department, and Union County Hazmat worked together to stabilize this incident. The Linden Fire Department simulated applying foam from engine number 4 onto the spill to suppress vapors to prevent the product from igniting. On May 4th, the fire department participated in a tabletop drill with Elizabethtown Gas. The drill was led by the Elizabethtown Gas Emergency Preparedness Specialist, who created a scenario at their Lower Road gate of a gas leak where one of their workers was conducting maintenance on a pipe in the gate station when the release happened. The fire department and Elizabeth Gas worked together to stabilize the incident, which included an evacuation plan for the neighborhood, securing a water supply for fire apparatus, stretching hand lines for fire protection, and closing a valve to secure the gas line to eliminate the leak. On May 11th, the fire department participated in a drill with Infinium located in the Bayway refinery. The scenario was chlorine leak during a loading process. The fire department assisted Infinium and Phillips 66 hazmat teams with stabilizing the incident by performing air monitoring and securing the leak. In addition, Linden Fire coordinated with Linden Police Department for sheltering and evacuation of 8th Ward Bayway residents. As a reminder from our Board of Health to our Linden property owners, the recently passed Public Law 2021 C-182 requires lead-based paint hazard evaluations of all residential rental dwelling units constructed prior to 1978. This includes all rented single-family homes, multiple family homes, and apartments. This evaluation must be conducted at least once prior to July 2nd, 2024, and then again once every 3 years upon each tenant turnover, whichever is earlier. Property owners can hire their own qualified lead evaluation contractor to perform the evaluation and forward the resulting report and certificate to the Board of Health, or they can arrange for the evaluation to be done through the Board of Health. Either way, all applicable properties are required by recent Board of Health ordinances to register both the owner and tenant information with the Board of Health. Postcards with this information and associated fees will be mailed to all applicable properties. Owners who fail to register their property or fail to register their tenant information upon each tenant turnover, or who fail to have the required lead-based paint hazard evaluation conducted will be subject to legal action. We encourage property owners who have questions about this new state law and local ordinances and their requirements to call the Linden Board of Health at 908-474-8409 and ask to speak to the health officer. Also, as a reminder, the Board of Health's 2023 Health Fair will be held on Saturday, October 14, 2023, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the School 1 gym. We will be offering a variety of free health services, including screenings for blood pressure, blood sugar, and vision, as well as flu and COVID vaccinations. In addition, there will be about 40 to 50 tables at the event with local organizations and business that focus on health, wellness, and physical activity and social services. Any local organization or business that is interested in a free table at this event is encouraged to contact the Linden Health Department, again, at 908-474-8409. Good evening, everybody. Also, in our ward, work still continues on major thoroughfares. West Blanket Street, West Henry Street, and West Elizabeth Avenue, to name a few. Just want to tell everybody to be prepared for traffic rerouting. Lexington Dog Park has been regraded as of today and reseeded, and with the coming rain, it should begin to start looking a lot better. I want to wish everyone a great summer, and with summer comes outside parties, as our first ward councilman mentioned. Please tone down the music, especially when several houses are competing in the same airspace. Also, please be considerate when walking your pet and clean up afterwards. Remember, it's your neighborhood. I can be reached at 908-494-4608 or email me at bjavick@linden-newjersey.gov. On Facebook, Second Ward Councilman Barry Javick. As always, additional information needed can always be found on our City of Linden website. Council President, end of report.
Thank you, Councilman Javick. I want to thank you also for mentioning those safety drills. We had some members of the public up recently questioning that, and I'm very impressed with the 8th Ward. You know, I live right there, that they are doing these drills, and, you know, it was discussed how to evacuate. Obviously, they're not going to share these details with the public for reasons for security, but they are out there, and our companies are doing these drills to know what they have to do, along with our police and fire department. So thank you for reporting on that.
Thank you, Council President.
Okay, Councilwoman Caldwell?
Thank you, Council President. Good evening. The Code and Construction Department has issued 257 permits and processed 44 certificates and has generated $90,478 in fees for the month of May of 2023. Thank you, Mark Patako, for always working hard. I want to thank you because you're always on it, and I appreciate you. And your work does not go unnoticed, okay? As for the IT department, it's been great since it's been reorganized with Jerry Bishop and Josh Weiss. The cybersecurity training is a work in progress. They're beefing up the cybersecurity for the city, which I'm excited about. They really are moving the needle. They're doing an excellent job. That concludes my IT report, Council President. And I also want to thank all the public workers. This weekend, there was Juneteenth, and they were there, and they were so helpful. And there wouldn't be any us without them, because they're always helping public works, grounds, transportation, even the Treasury Department, everybody that works in City Hall. I just want them to know that you are appreciated. And thank you for all your hard work. I'm going to ask you for a little time. Dear Third Ward neighbors, friends, and family, today I stand before you with a heavy heart and a troubled mind. And I just want to say one of my superpowers is to remain calm. I learned that from one of my coworkers a long time ago. I was in the prior meeting, and I was talked to condescending. I'm not going to mention anybody's name, but I will be writing another letter. And one thing about college and being educated and being a critical thinker, it teaches you how to write, it teaches you how to read, it teaches you how to research. So I will continue to basically do that, whether it's by Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. With that being said, I've been a resident of Linden since 1972, and for the most part, it has been a town of peace and harmony. However, recent events have left me disturbed, frustrated, and concerned for the safety of my family and myself. As some of you may know, my father was Mr. Softy, a well-known figure in our community. Throughout all these years, I've never, ever experienced any malicious acts in my beloved town until now. It is deeply saddened for me to say that my trust and safety and security of our community has been shaken. Recently, I made a decision to help a friend out. And little did I know that simple act of helping a friend would result in a disturbing incident. The day after I was assisting him, I discovered that 6 of my car tires has been brutally stabbed with a knife, which both of my cars had brand new tires on. Imagine the shock and the violation of my family I felt when we realized that someone had deliberately targeted us. My husband was unaware of the damage to the tires, which he set off to work as usual. However, he almost found himself stranded on the parkway because his back tires were deflated. This act not only affected me, but put my family's safety at risk. It is beyond comprehension that someone would want to cause harm to my loved ones because of a simple decision. I immediately reported the incident to the Linden Police Department. However, I cannot help but feel deep sense of fear and concern for my life. It frightens me even more to think that a councilwoman was tragically killed 30 miles from here. Crimes against elected officials should be taken seriously as they threaten not only our personal safety, but also the foundation of democracy. In times like this, I am reminded that the power of karma, whatever negative energy we put out into the world, we will inevitably find its way back to us. I firmly believe that lies don't live, and those who perpetrate acts of violence and malice will eventually face the consequences of their actions. I want to take a time out to express my heartfelt gratitude to all my friends, neighbors, and family who reached out to me during this distressing time. Your support and kindness has been a source of comfort for me and my family. Together we stand against such acts and continues to uphold the values that make our community great. Let us come together and reaffirm our commitment to a peaceful, harmonious Linden. Let us demand that crimes against elected officials are thoroughly investigated and that the safety of all residents is ensured. May we find solace in knowing that justice will prevail and that our community will emerge stronger than ever before. Yours truly, Councilwoman Caldwell. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. All right. Councilman Mohammed, go ahead,
Yes,
please.
thank you, Council President. Good evening, my friends and neighbors. As our school year comes to a close, I wish you all a happy, healthy summer. Please take advantage of our newly refurbished Martin Luther King Park and all its amenities. I'm delighted to see the return of activities and energy to our neighborhood. On June 3rd, we were honored to be the host venue of the 3rd Annual Bike Rodeo. The Linden Police Department sponsored fun bicycle activities, giveaways, and obstacle course, and taught our children about bike safety. Let's make this a fun, safe summer. Fire up those grills and enjoy. Please continue to call me with any questions or concerns. You're my people, and I'm your guy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Councilman Rivas.
Madam President, I don't have a report for this month. I just want to keep adding and concurring with Councilman Caldwell. The job of every one of our employees in City Hall, it is appreciated. The city cannot run without you. So I want to appreciate you all. I want to appreciate all of public service, everything that you guys do. Please be careful. Enjoy the beginning of the summer and continue to be careful. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Rivas. Councilman Roman.
A few minutes, I appreciate your extra time. Good evening, 6th Ward. I just want to start off with Smith and Hampton issues. Smith Street has been paved. Appreciate the engineering department for getting that done. However, as expected, the new curbing from Hampton and Rebecca is causing a lot of water to build up at the bottom of the hill where Rebecca meets Smith Street. We will be installing water drains there to mitigate these issues. And I know that there are some other issues with drains. If you have those issues, please call me, 908-494-5784. I'm going to need it written down so we can add it to our punch list for things that need to get fixed. This is common with every infrastructure project, especially with curbing like this. So please notify me of that. The 6th Ward garage sale, we're watching the weather for this weekend. It may end up being postponed for a week. But I won't make that call until Thursday, so please watch out on Facebook. When Wheeler Spray Park opens on June 24th, it will be open every day until Labor Day. I want to thank Commissioner Joe Bodek and the County Parks Department for making this and making improvements to the Wheeler Spray Park. If you need more information, go to the county's website, ucnj.org/parks. For trees, people are asking for trees. We're changing things up a bit. However, trees don't get planted until late fall. So if you're looking for a tree, we have plenty of time. I just need to put your name on a list, so please contact me if you're interested in a tree. Diane, you're at the top of the list, just to let you know. Groundhogs, we are having some issues with groundhogs in the area. And some reports of various vendors are dropping live animals in our neighborhood from other cities. This is not the first time I've heard this. It's not the first time I've seen it with my own eyes. It's not the first time I got a message with pictures of them doing it. However, this is now under investigation. We will be working with private property owners to rectify this issue. The redevelopment on Pleasant and 1 and 9 is stalled for now. There's an issue with the runway zones and what is and isn't allowed, so that will be continuing as it has for months. 67-34 was on your agendas tonight as it failed for introduction twice over the last 2 months. A redevelopment for the 33 proposed units at the corner of Linden and Wood Avenue is now thankfully off this agenda. I really want to thank this council for adhering to the concerns of the 6th Ward and myself. We should have never sold this property for what we did. Never sold the rights to this property for what we did. Any overdevelopment of this small property will be met with stern and fierce opposition. This property can be great. It can be the door to our city, and I hope that we make it great together. The 9 proposed townhouses at 103 West Munsell Avenue were scheduled to go in front of the zoning board meeting last week. However, there was a last-second cancellation, so they now are scheduled to come in front of the board on July 10th at 7 p.m. This project is out of place, and even though I have a lot of respect for the owner who has owned this property for generations, it is admittedly a way for him to retire, and I implore him and the applicant, the owner, to bring forth a project that is more congruent to the neighborhood. In our neighborhood, townhouses aren't allowed, which is why they need the variance in the first place, and they don't exist. And trying to fit 9 townhouses and also asking for a height variance on a 250-foot wide property, 9 townhouses, it's too much. It doesn't fit the character of the neighborhood. The neighborhood is all homes, 1 family and 2 families. Some, even once in a while, there's a 4-family sprinkled in. But the neighborhood has been 100% against this, and they voiced their concerns. It's my opinion that the project would be much better with 2-family homes. If you did 4 2-family homes, there's more than enough room for it, and it would fit the character of the neighborhood, which is a neighborhood that we all love. So please come and voice your concerns to the project scheduled in front of the zoning board July 10th at 7 p.m., the 3rd floor of City Hall. Big shout out to Kyle Phipps, who's a lifelong Linden resident. I'm putting his book up here. He was a big star athlete in Linden High School years ago. He just released this children's book. I purchased a copy. He was nice enough to autograph it for me. I appreciate you, Kyle. This is close to my heart, not only because the name of it is We Got This, Barney the Brave French Bulldog. It's very inspirational. And I have a French Bulldog, and it was also the artistry in it, and the pictures are from students at Thomas Jefferson Arts Academy, which is where my father attended high school so many years ago. It's pretty cool. So tomorrow I'm going to post a link of it with a picture of my French Bulldog, and go buy it and support one of our own. Lastly, I would like to thank everyone who reached out to us upon the birth of my daughter, Reagan, who was born June 16th at 5:38 p.m. And I would like to thank everyone else who reached out to check on myself and my wife, who we had anything but an easy time getting our daughter into our hands. I appreciate the kind words, cards, texts, gifts bestowed upon us by our friends and neighbors. The nights have been long, but incredibly worth it. I've never loved something as much. I love this little newborn that I'm just starting to get to know. My wife is well, but if it's okay with you, Council President, she is recovering, tired, and I'll be concluding my report by going to tag her out so she can get some rest. Thank you, Council President. That concludes my report.
And on behalf of the mayor and council, we'd like to congratulate you and your wife Samantha on your beautiful daughter. So, best of luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, Councilman Strano.
Thank you, Council President. First, I'll read the personnel report. Item number 1 in our police department is A, approving the appointment of Samantha Olbreeze as an unpaid summer intern in the police department from June 23rd to September of 2023. I should say June of 2023 to September of 2023, pending the successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements. B is approval of the appointment of Sophia Martinez as an unpaid summer intern in the police department from June 2023 to September 2023, pending the successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements. C is approving the resignation in good standing of Officer Carlos Ralda, effective May 26, 2023. D is approving the resignation in good standing of Officer Jeffrey Anderson, effective June 15th of 2023. E is approving the resignation of good standing of telecommunicator Joseph Denman, effective June 19th of 2023. F is permission for Joseph Denman to work per diem as a public safety telecommunicator at the hourly rate of $27.64, pending the amendment of the city's salary ordinance. G is approving the appointment of 3 names from the candidates list for the position of public safety communicator trainee at the annual rate of $42,000, pending the successful completion of the city's background check. G is approving the resignation in good standing of public safety telecommunicator Emily Artley, effective July 9th of 2023. Want to go? Okay. H is approving the resignation in good standing of public safety communicator Casper Sitko, effective July 9th of 2023. G is approving the appointment of the following police recruits effective July 10th, 2023 at the annual salary of $42,908, subject to the successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements. I is Emily Artley, II, or is this 2 is Casper Sitko, 3 is Laura Garcia, 4 is Devon Miller, 5 is Joshua how do you say that? Houseway Aleskar, 6 is Alexander Tarnowski, and 7 is Nicholas Tomek. 2 in the municipal court, approving the appointment of Lindsay Parker to permanent municipal court administrator at the annual salary of $95,000, effective June 21st of 2023. 3 in the office of the clerk, approving the posting for a clerk 1 bilingual at the salary range of $34,548 to $61,470. B is approving the resignation in good standing for Talia Penna-Marin, clerk 1, effective June 23rd of 2023. 4 is Department of Community Services, approving the appointment of Cecil Butler, laborer, Tier 2, Division of Transportation and Properties at the annual rate of $18 per hour, effective June 21st of 2023. B is accept the resignation in good standing of Michael Cassiano, laborer, Tier 2, effective June 1st of 2023. C is approving the amended appointment date for Kevin Ramroop, HVAC mechanic, Tier 2, to June 8th of 2023. D is approving the seasonal list on file of the office of the clerk. 5, and the Board of Health is approving the appointment of Crystal Leslie, clerk 1, at the annual salary of $34,548, effective July 15, 2023, pending successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements. 6 is the Office of the Construction Code, approving the appointment of Marissa Da Silva as the Secretary to the Construction Board of Appeal, effective June 20th, 2023, at the prorated annual rate of $3,000, effective June 21st of 2023. 7, in the Division of Recreation, approved the seasonal list that's on file with the Office of the Clerk. 8, in the Office of the Mayor, in the Office of Constituent Services, accepting the resignation in good standing of Hattie Brown, Clerk 1, effective July 7th of 2023. 8, in the Division of Personnel, is approving the FMLA, NJFLA leaves on file in the Personnel Division. I move for approval and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Abstain to everything except 2A, 3B, 4A, 4E, 6A, 8A.
Can you repeat those?
Yes, sir. 2A, 3B, 4A, 4E, 6A, 8A.
6A, okay, 8A. Mr. Mohammed?
Yes.
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Yes. Medina?
No to 1C and yes to the rest.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemekaitis.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I just want to run through a couple of departments that I chair real quick, and a little bit of an update on the, my ward. First thing I want to do is wish everybody a happy and enjoyable summer, as tomorrow is the summer solstice. And want everybody to be safe and enjoy the warm weather, and be careful with those that are subject to those high temperatures when they hit, and make sure they get into a cooling center, which is usually JTG Center and a couple others. We have to check it out.
John Street.
Where?
John Street.
John Street Center, exactly. So real quick, I just want to give you an update on what's been going on with our engineering department. I think it's 25 of 27 roads that are scheduled to be resurfaced by the city in this past month have done so. I just want to, tip my hat to our engineering department. This is all work that's city work. It does not include any of the utility work. I think our engineering department's going full speed. I've never seen them this busy and this efficient. So kudos to them. Also in the Blue Acres areas, there was a volunteer group and participation with our DPW and our engineering department on Madison Street, where they planted 200 natural grass plugs to enhance the floodplain that's there, as we try to remediate that back to its natural state. Unfortunately, we had to cut the work short because that was that Wednesday that we had that real heavy smoke from that was blown down from the wildfires in Canada. But the following day, our engineering staff went back and finished up. And I want to thank everybody. It's a real interesting project going there with the Blue Acres. Ed Blanner of Enviroscapes and our DPW crews and volunteers from Infinium and Phillips 66 were there. Our parking deck here in City Hall should be completed in August of this year. I underlined of this year. Unfortunately, as often happens, additional work has been uncovered as they were proceeding through the process. That's probably going to require a change order. It also pushes out the completion date, and that's why we're looking at August. And then I'm going to go out on a limb here, but our new state-of-the-art skate park will be breaking ground this July. I would hope it would be July 1st, but I'm not holding my breath for that. That's in my report. Thank you, Council President.
Hey, thank you, Councilman Strato. Councilman Blaine.
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to start, before I start, I'd just like to ask for a couple extra minutes. I just want to commend our police department for doing a fine job, especially with the challenges that they face. I want everyone to be aware of cat litter converters are still being stolen in our area. In terms of fire, I was surprised to find out that we had 2 fires in this city that started because people were smoking and being careless of how they disposed their cigarettes. When you look around this whole continent, you'll see that wildfires in Canada, we got wildfires down south. Let's be mindful of that, because when the roughage and the trees and the grass are really dry, if you flick a cigarette out the window, it is a high possibility that it can cause a wildfire, and we don't want that in the city of Linden. I want to commend the Director of Park and Recreation for putting on some fantastic events lately. There is karaoke tonight over at the Promenade. There's summer camp coming up. We even have on June 29th, there's a comedy under the stars. June 30th, there's a jazz concert. When I tell you that I'm so proud of this director, not only is he bringing us together, he's giving us entertainment and activity as well. So please go on the website and look at the fantastic job he's doing. Now, I just want to address the 8th Ward. And look, I've been a straight shooter all along. That's who I am. I'm never going to change that. And this is my truth. I'm going to begin the same way I'm going to end. If you live in the city of Linden, if you reside in the city of Linden, it is in our best interest to get behind this administration and wish them the best of success, because their success is directly tied to our success. And with that saying, and with that being said, there was an election. And during the election cycle, on election day, by someone I truly admired at one point, referred to me as mud. I had to ponder upon that, so I'll come back to that. But let me just say this. 2 weeks before the election, I got down on my hands and knees in my backyard, and I asked God. I said, God, if it's in your will for me to be councilman, give it to me. I'll accept the challenge, and I'll do my best. But if you see fit that this is no longer for me, please take it away. That was my prayers. Now, with that being said, the 8th Ward of the city of Linden has made a decision. And in the words of the late long-term Linden resident, Henry Mack would say, what the people say. I didn't say it, the people said it. Well, the people have decided that my services are no longer wanted and needed in the 8th Ward. And we must respect their decision and move forward. You see, I didn't aspire to be a councilman. They came and got me. I did the best I could. The only regret I have is I wish that they would have had the same respect for me then to tell me not to do it. June 6th would have never happened if I just got a phone call. But if and buts was candy and nuts, we all have a Merry Christmas. That being said, I don't want anyone to pat me on the back and feel sorry, because I'm not the feel sorry for type. I'm the guy that when Councilwoman Caldwell got 6 tires slashed because she was assisting me, I went in my pocket and I told her to calm down. I'll pay for half of them. Let's continue what we started. And that's exactly what we did. Now let's get back to this thing called mud. I had to contemplate that for a minute. I said, what is the composition of mud? Mud is made up of dirt and water. It makes our grass grow green that flows throughout the pastures. It makes our trees rise tall and strong and grow leaves. And in its photosynthesis phase, it eliminates the carbon dioxide and creates oxygen, which is what is essential for our life. So to be called mud, I don't deserve such an honor, but I'll wear it as a badge of honor, because that's who I am. Now, before I conclude, I just want to say this. Become critical thinkers. If you look up in the sky and you see the sky's blue, don't let nobody tell you it's green. And no matter how many times they repeat it, it won't make it true. As I said, and I promised you, I will end the same way I began. If you live in the city of Linden, you own a home in the city of Linden, it is in your best interest to get behind this administration and help them succeed, because their success is our success. And let me tell you why. It will affect our property taxes, our property values, our quality of life, and most important, the education of our children. So I just want to say to the 8th Ward, thank you for the opportunity to allow me to represent you. I am humbly proud of the job that I've done. I respect that. God bless you all. Let's get behind this administration and move forward.
Thank you, Councilman Blaine. Councilman Medina.
Yes, thank you, Council President. I have a brief report, just a quick ward report, and a quick comment on the ordinance that we adopted earlier on the amendment of our zoning and whatnot. But just real quickly on the ward, still, just like my colleague to my left mentioned earlier, we're still experiencing people checking for unlocked cars, catalytic converters and whatnot. I did receive some videos from some residents in the community. I know the police department have received them as well. And again, as many times we set it up here and we put it out on social media and all channels that we can think of, people continue to leave their car doors unlocked. Matter of fact, there was an incident just a couple of weeks ago. The car was actually taken, but this resident actually forgot her purse in the vehicle, and the whole vehicle was taken. The entire vehicle was taken. Thank God it was recovered, but the damage was already done. So again, I encourage people to please lock your vehicles, keep an eye on your surrounding, call in any suspicious activities and whatnot. Summer's upon us. A lot of kids out there, especially in my community in the 9th Ward. We have tons of kids in our parks and whatnot. So I want to briefly thank our DPW and our police department for keeping our streets and parks clean for everyone to enjoy. Again, our director here is doing an amazing job, so I was really excited to hear what's coming down the pipe, because I think it's been a while since we had something that well put together and whatnot. So I look forward to, I'm actually looking forward to the comedy one, so I like to laugh. So that's basically it for the 9th Ward. Obviously, as more issues arise, we'll tackle them and whatnot. But just going back, I was going to make a comment earlier on the adoption of the zoning ordinance, but the mayor kind of just took the wind out of my sail there. He basically said everything I wanted to say, but I just wanted to quickly thank the mayor, council president, Mark Matako, who's back there, our attorneys, and everyone that was involved, our professionals, to really looking at this. It did take a little bit longer than I wanted to, but this is government, and things do move a little bit slowly here. It's not like the private sector and whatnot, but yeah, I think we're moving in the right direction. We're tackling these issues. We're identifying quality of life issues. We want people to enjoy living here in Linden, and we want to keep it that way. So we're taking steps, and I think it's a great first step, and it might be possible amendments down the road. So, with that, I know Councilman Roman left, but we all congratulated him, and I also want to just quickly congratulate Councilman Blaine for running a great campaign and whatnot, and he's still with us here for the next few months. So we'll continue to work together and support the governing body. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Hudak?
Thank you. I'd like to acknowledge the Linden Police Department and the Linden Fire Department for being active participants in our Fun Fitness Days at Linden Public Schools. The children loved it. And I would also like to do a huge congratulations to Dr. Atia Perkins for being appointed as our Linden Public Schools Superintendent. And in conclusion, I always like to thank all of them that are serving, that have served, and that will be serving, because never forget, we are free because of the brave. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I would just like to congratulate Glenn Larson. He was a sanitation inspector, also worked at Public Works for many years. He's retiring effective July 1st, so we wish him well on his retirement. And just wish everyone a happy 4th of July. Please be safe. Please no shooting fireworks off in our parks. We do have ordinances in our parks regarding what's allowed and what's not allowed. And one of the things I want to bring to everyone's attention is especially with the camps opening up and playgrounds, there is no smoking allowed at our parks, and that includes cannabis. Even though it's legal, you cannot smoke cannabis in our parks, so. No, in our parks. It falls on. Okay. All right, Ralph, I'm referring to our parks, okay?
Because people think that any cannabis is legal, and it's not.
All right, let's move on. All right, Mayor Armstead. It's getting late, Councilman.
Yes, good evening, everyone. First, I'd like to do a couple public service announcements. I'd like to announce that the Mayor's Youth Commission invites you to a wine and cheese party. Tickets are $35, and the date of the wine and cheese party will be Friday, June 30th. Location is 400 Northwood Avenue at the Promenade. Wine and cheese begins at 6. Live jazz begins at 7:30, and the money that we're collecting will go to continue to provide scholarships for our young people. Last year, we gave out, well, last week, should I say, we gave out $7,000 in scholarships to Linden High School students, $1,000 scholarships. That was the Mayor's Youth Commission. My office gave out 18 $500 scholarships. So, and we gave an additional scholarship to Union County College students. So we raise money, we do it with a good cause and good purpose, and that's to help our children advance and become more educated as they pursue their careers. The other thing I have to announce is, hold on, let me see, that karaoke night is tomorrow night, not tonight, and we'll have none other than a young lady by the name of Abigail Armstead. She'll be hosting a family night karaoke, so come out, come one, come all, bring your children, bring your family. We got a new concept here when we try to do things in town now. We try to include the schools. By including the schools, we are finding that they're coming and they're bringing their parents, and it's just a more festive atmosphere. And we seem to be increasing our involvement, so that's a good thing. What else do I have here? Saturday is our annual Unity Day celebration. It begins at 12 o'clock and ends at 10. It's our 8th annual Unity Day. It's an all-white affair, and it's going to be from Wood Avenue to Blanky Street. So we're going to be shutting down Wood Avenue from Blanky Street to, I believe, to Elm Street. Also, we'll be utilizing the Amon Labs parking lot. We'll have 2 stages. We'll have a stage on Wood Avenue, and we'll have a stage in back. So it's going to be a very interesting, a very nice affair. We'll have vendors and food being sold, and as well as merchandise. So please come out with your families and support this so worthwhile event. It's always a good day. And again, we work very close with Recreation for all of our functions, and we've really stepped up our game. So again, we have Keith Presley, who's our director of, he's our, not director, he's our management specialist at the Department of Recreation, doing a great job. A lot of the activities that we were doing were coming out of my office, and we've kind of handed them off to Keith now, because, you know, it was really wearing Rebecca, myself, and Sandy down all these functions. So we want to thank you for jumping right in the mix and hitting the ground running and being an effective leader in that department. And last but certainly not least, I wanted to report on a development that we have going in town. It's the Linden chlorine plant that we call the LCP property. The LCP property was an abandoned, contaminated site. We've been working very hard with the DEP and Environmental Protection Agency to have it capped and cleaned up. It sits right next to the 4.5 million square feet of warehousing that we had built. And the developer there is showing an interest in the property, and so he could potentially be the person who cleans it, which would save the DEP millions of dollars if a private developer were to clean it. We've been negotiating very hard with very intense with the potential developer, as we're going to need an easement alongside of the property to run a rail spur that will connect with the chemical coastline, which will bring revenues to the city of Linden once that occurs. There's also another part of the property that warehousing can't be built on because of the elevation, and we're negotiating with them to allow the city to put solar panels there so that we can receive a revenue for that as well. We've also requested that, as part of our negotiations, that we would like to have access to the port. There's a bulkhead down there, and we want to make sure we have access to that. So things are going very well with our negotiations, and I think all in all, between the rail spur, the solar panels, access to the waterway, and the actual taxes that they'll be paying once this land is developed. I'm not going to say a win-win for the city, it's going to be a win-win-win-win for the city. So I think it's a great potential, great opportunity for us to generate revenues on land that was once was contaminated, is contaminated, and has unfortunately hasn't been providing any tax revenue to the city for some time now. So again, those negotiations are moving right along, and we're very hopeful that within the next 2 to 3 months, we'll be able to ink some sort of deal with a developer and move this project along in a way that it should be moved along. That concludes my report, Council President.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, we'll now move on to reports, to resolutions. Okay, we have Resolution 223, 236 through 223, 261. Can I have a motion, please?
Council President, I make a motion for the adoption of Resolution 2023-236 through, excuse me one second, 261, and request a second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, we'll now move on to ordinances on introduction, starting with ordinance 6739, please.
An ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled, an ordinance establishing a schedule of titles, salary ranges, and regulations for maintaining the classification and salary standardization plan of all employees of the City of Linden, passed August 15th, 1995, and approved August 16th, 1995, adopting salary schedule 4RR3.
Okay, can we have a motion for introduction of ordinance 6739, please?
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to move ordinance number 6739 for introduction and request a second.
Second.
Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Just a little housekeeping item. We have some new faces here this evening. If you would like to speak during our public comment portion, which is coming up, please sign in on the white sheets in front of me, okay? We'll now return to ordinances on introduction. Ordinance 6740, please.
A bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $946,000 for landfill improvements and authorizing the issuance of $898,700 in bonds or notes of the city for financing part of the appropriation.
Okay, can we have a motion for introduction of ordinance 6740, please?
Council President, I'd like to introduce ordinance number 6740 and ask for, move for introduction and ask for a second.
Can we have a second,
Second.
please?
Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak? Yes. Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6741, please.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7 Traffic of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance adopting and enacting the revised general ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999, passed November 23rd, 1999, and approved November 24th, 1999, and as amended and supplemented. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, that Chapter 7 Traffic shall be, and the same is hereby amended as follows. 7-33 handicap parking regulations, 7-33.1A handicap parking on street, delete 820 West Elizabeth Avenue, 1 space, add 205 Grant Street, 1 space.
Okay, can we have a motion for introduction of ordinance 6741, please?
Yes. Council President, I'd like to make a motion to introduce ordinance 6741 and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Strato?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6742, please.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 2 Administration of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance adopting and enacting the revised general ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999, passed November 23rd, 1999, and approved November 24th, 1999, and as amended and supplemented. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, Chapter 2, Administration shall be, and the same is hereby amended as follows. Chapter 2, Article 4, Departments established, 2-12, Departments of Police, 7-12.1, created Department of Police, delete 7-12.1 in its entirety, and add new section 7-12.1.
Okay, can we have a motion for introduction, please, of ordinance 6742?
Yes, Council President. I move ordinance number 6742 for introduction and request a second.
Second.
Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yamakaitis?
Yes. Okay, we'll now move on to comments from members of the public in attendance on city business only. No personal, political, or derogatory comments, not to exceed 3 minutes. We'll begin with Mr. Craig Halloran. Please state your name and address for the record.
Craig Halloran, 120 Donaldson Place. I have a couple of things. I hope I get to them all. First of all, with the Clark property, when that gets transferred from the city to the developer, SID loses $25,000 in funding. And because I believe it's the Linden Economic Development Corporation, I could be wrong, authorized the pilot program, the city should be incumbent or somehow make up this loss of funding, and perhaps a way to do it, the parking meters that are used downtown. The city makes quite a bit of money on all of this. Perhaps a steady stream of money from those parking meters in downtown Linden should be given to SID as financing, and therefore that might help SID when they lose stuff due to a pilot program. My other comment is the parking meters behind CVS. They always ask for a credit card or a dollar bill or something. I thought we only needed to pay for a quarter to get 30 minutes of parking. There may be something wrong with these meters, I don't know, but I do think it needs to be checked. And my last comment is, at one of my other meetings that I went to with this council, this governing body, I brought up the idea of recognizing or giving proclamations to the girls' high school softball team for the fine job they did representing the city of Linden at a charity event for autism, and yet nothing happened. I find that kind of disheartening that, the city governing body did not recognize these fine ladies who did a great job representing Linden, and they were the highest amount earned to donate to autism awareness at this charity event. I'm disappointed, but I do understand things do go the way they do. I believe that's all I had to say. Thank you very much. Have a good night, and everybody have a happy 4th of July.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Halloran will ask them to look into that parking meter to see what's going on with that, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have Monica Smith. Okay, please state your name and address for the record.
Thank you, Council President. Monica Smith, 169 Carson Court, Somerset, New Jersey. I'll tell you why I'm here, because I don't like bullies, especially bullies who think that they're smart, but in fact that they're not. Because the utter ineptitude of how the library is being run is an absolute disgrace and an affront to the profession. $22,000. That is the amount of money for fiscal year 2024 that the Linden Free Public Library lost in per capita state aid, wholly due to the negligence of then library trustee president Marlena Berghammer for failing to comply with the mandatory continuing education requirements. At the library board meeting held on June 5th, 2023, she offered a myriad of excuses, including lack of leadership. If she's referring to herself as leading the board as president, then I agree. Being short-staffed, this is irrelevant. 7 hours collectively for the whole board for the year is no undue burden on any one individual. Additionally, if they don't have enough board members, this is a mayoral appointed position, so the mayor needs to make the appointments and keep on top of that. Ignorance of the requirement, absolutely not, and here's why. Minutes of the board meeting for February 11th, 2021, Marlena Berghammer is in attendance as a newly appointed board member, having transitioned from being the mayor's alternate. The director's report states that the board packet includes the information for mandatory trustee training. Minutes of the board meeting for April 5th, 2021, Marlena Berghammer is in attendance as a board member. The director's report provides a link to access the trustee manual provided by the New Jersey State Library. In that manual, Section 10, Trustee Continuing Education, Paragraph 1 clearly states, as noted in the per capita state aid section of this manual, in order to earn future state aid, library boards will have to attend mandatory training at 7 hours per year per library board. Audio track of the library board meeting, trustee meeting, May 2022, timestamp 39:55. Note, there are no written minutes for this open public meeting. During the public comment section of the meeting, I attempted to ask 4 questions. The second question was about what the education the board has done so far that year. I handed a printed copy of my questions to the board. I'm still waiting on those answers, but I do have one. Education, big fat goose egg. That's why they lost the 22 grand. Marlena Berghammer has repeatedly shown behavior consistent with the type of individual that I described in my reasons for being here tonight. She should be removed immediately from her appointed position before she costs the taxpayers of Linden even more money, which is bad, or the reputation of the library and its devoted staff, which, in my opinion, is far worse. Thank you.
Okay, Pat Hero. Hero, please state your name and address for the record.
Excuse me?
Please state your name and address
Okay.
again for the record.
Pat Hero, West Elizabeth Avenue. I always believe that you have the right to be heard and state your opinion. I always appreciated when Mr. Mack would come here and speak his mind. He was one of my favorites when I used to come to council meetings on a regular basis. And even after I did, sometimes I would see him on the street and we would hug. And it was just such a joy to see him. And I wish I had known that he had passed, because I would have gone not only to the viewing but to the funeral. And like I said, it's a great loss to the city of Linden and all of us. As I said, I do believe that you have the right to be heard, but you also have to know who you're talking about and what their agenda is. And I guess I grew up in Linden, went through the entire Linden school system. But I went away. I went away to college, and I went down to the D.C. area where I also went additional schooling. And what happened there was I lived in Arlington, Virginia for a real long time, for about 20 years. And I saw it change. I saw it change from a nice little suburb outside of Washington, D.C., to a mini Manhattan, to a place where they got rid of basically all the affordable housing. They have a little bit, but not very much at all. And they built luxury housing. I guess they figure, as many communities are starting to do, and I hope Linden isn't one of them, but I'm starting to worry, that housing is a luxury. Personally, I always thought housing was a necessity. I went to the planning board meeting last week. I had a real problem at that planning board meeting because I saw a developer come in. It's like the emperor's new clothes. They come in and they promise you the world and how this is going to be magnificent and it is going to be a crown jewel of Linden. The only problem is they're taking away, with your permission, the rights of a man who worked in Linden, who owned that property, who took care of it. Mayor Armstead always said, Linden first. Well, if you're giving it away, and I think that, in doing my research, I think that developer is from Bridgewater. It's not Linden first. You're putting Linden last. You're taking away the businesses of a man who worked hard, a community. People love that quit check. I love Quing Fang. I'm sad it's gone. a lot of things, a community. You get to know those businesses. You get excited to see those people. And you're replacing it for what? A development, which they promise the world, but it might not happen. A lot of developers change. I know that happened in Arlington. They went from one developer to another to another. I know my time is up, but I want you to say no to eminent domain abuse and no to redevelopment unless it's the person who wants to redevelop the property. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, John Kazor. Okay. Diane Wilverding.
Diane Wilverding, Morris Avenue, 6th Ward. A couple things. A shout out to the engineering department. I was there about a month ago. I think his name was Steve. Went through a bunch of old maps. Oh, I love old maps. I remember as a kid, my parents saying there was a stream, the Morris Stream, and I know they paved over certain sections, because I remember there was a little creek over there, and I've been having problems with water in the cellar. Oh my God, we saw these really old maps. It was so cool, and he found me the right one, so that I could see, yes, it goes here, and I'm showing my neighbors where it went. So I just want to tell you how hopeful he was and how much fun I had with the old maps. I know quite a while ago, in fact, I'll say BC, before COVID, that I asked about the stage being named after Gary Luciano. So, I mean, he started all that with the concerts and stuff, so I hope somebody's still remembering that. And I also asked about Nancy Braxton, and I know you said that there's a possibility of that building in Wilson Park being named after her. Was that done yet? Okay, so if we could remember that, because like I said, it was before COVID, BC. Parking garage, with all these houses going, I mean these apartments going up, and they're given 1.5 cars. I've never heard of a half car, unless you're talking about a bicycle, so we really need a parking garage somewhere. And everybody seems to be forgetting about that with all these, 5-story buildings and stuff, and, oh, they park underneath. No, they park on the streets. So please, a parking garage. And we got plenty of parking behind what would have been Quick Check and all those in that area. And last thing, really upsetting to hear what happened to you, Councilman Caldwell. I am getting so tired of hearing bad news. I had something really good happen to me today, because I like my community. I've been here a long, long time. It's very sad to hear that. But I want to tell you about the nice thing that happened to me at Dairy Queen. Okay, so I was babysitting 3 kids, 12, 8, and 10 or something, and they were helping me with some stuff, and I said, okay, we're going to get ice cream. No, it wasn't a bribe, because I wanted ice cream too. Okay, so we go to Dairy Queen, and we're all trying to figure out what we want, and this guy was behind us. I said, you go ahead, this older gentleman, and you figure it'll take us a while. So he bought his thing, and then he's saying, okay, come, what do you want? So we're figuring it out and all. Do you know he paid for us? And the guy behind me, this African-American guy, paid for all of us, and it made me feel so good. I thought that was so nice. So some good things do happen in this town, and I'm so sorry to hear about the bad thing that happened to you. So we got to continue with these good things, people.
Thank you. Okay, the next council meeting will be council conference meeting, excuse me, I gotta go back. Yep. Motion to close the public meeting, please.
Council President, I'd like to make a motion to close the public portion of the meeting and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Yes. Mohammed?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak? Yes. Mrs. Yamakaitis?
Okay, comments from members of the governing body. Anyone on the dais wish to speak? Okay. 1 minute.
No, it's just real quick.
All right, Councilwoman
To my
Caldwell.
constituents, I will be on vacation very soon. So Councilman Javit will be helping out in my absence. His number is 908-494-4608. And I also want to thank the engineering department My neighbors finally got their sidewalks. They look so nice and clean. Thank you so much. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. Councilwoman Ormond, you have your hand up?
I don't have anything, no.
Okay. Councilman Javik?
Just want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Strano?
Yes, that's what I want to do. I want to wish everyone a happy 4th of July, and remember, only legal fireworks are legal.
Thank you, Councilman.
Retirement's really getting to you, Councilman. All right,
Well,
Councilman Blade.
I forgot to mention earlier to the 8th Ward and the people on Allen Street, the police are really cracking down on commercial vehicles being on the street, so I will make them aware of that so we can clean up that area. And I want to assure everyone that from this point forward, it will be exclusively city business coming from me. So no worries. I will continue to do my duties. And if I can clear clear the air on one thing, the word mud. The exact quote was, "Blood is thicker than mud." And I just want to leave everyone with that. So have a happy 4th of July. Enjoy the summer, everyone.
Thanksgiving's good, too.
Thank you, 4th of July.
Okay, Councilman Medina?
No, all good, thank you.
Okay, we're all good? Good. All right. The next council meeting will be as follows. Council conference meeting on Monday, July 17th at 6 p.m. in the council conference room, City Hall. Council conference meeting prior to the council meeting, Tuesday, July 18th at 6 p.m. in the council conference room in City Hall. Council meeting Tuesday, July 18th at 7 p.m. in the council chamber, City Hall. These meetings will be held in person. Could we have a motion to adjourn, please?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Mohammed?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Medina? Yes.
Yes.